Hello everybody, welcome along to the JACKOCAR Cup Series here for Season 10. It is Round 4, and technically this means it's the first time we've done 3 seasons on the same game, because we're back on F1 23, back in France for the first of 2 visits to the Super Speedway. Don't ask me why F1 24 took France out of the game. It's the only track that didn't get carried over, but I have a feeling that quite a lot of drivers are probably pleased to be back on this game. I am your commentator, Owen Wyatt. For the 3rd week in a row, I'm quite proud of myself. And for the 3rd week in a row, I don't technically have a proper co-commentator with me because thanks to our, let's say, lacking numbers because we decided to start the season in the middle of the summer holiday, we've got driver comms. And oddly enough, for all 3 weeks, the driver com actually has been a commentator. It was Jacko in Saudi Arabia, it was Gareth in China, and now it's going to be Jacko again. Hello.
Hello.
Have I given you enough time?
You've given me enough time. You've just not given the internet enough time because my usual race tweet is still loading.
Brilliant.
But hello everyone. Welcome to France. Le Paul Ricard Super Speedway, as they say in Italy. This is it's. I've just put it in the tweet. Actually, pure JACKOCAR. That's what this is. And I'm very much looking forward to it. We're also back on a semi-decent game, aren't we? So, but France always delivers good fun, good racing, competition caution, brings everyone together with 6 laps to go. So that should be all good fun. But that's a long way off. First of all, Owen, we have qualifying, and take us through the extensive list of drivers who aren't here. And if you don't have that information, I do.
Well, the thing is, I don't have that, but I do have a piece of intel that you might not be aware of, Jacko, because you weren't about for Jacko Ball last night.
It's very true.
And that piece of intel is that while all of us who shockingly have to play EAFC to enjoy the Jacko Ball Cup as it was last week, and a few league games as well, we were all doing that. But then someone called Jake, I think his name is, got added to the party, and we thought, okay, let's have him here for a bit of fun. He was there just to sweat the France Super Speedway, and so while we were all playing FIFA and having a good time, this guy was sat sweating last year's F1 game. And so that tells me we've got to have him taken out of the race.
And by Jake, I'm assuming you refer to Jake O'Sullivan, the current 2 race winners in a row. He's on a winning streak, right?
Yes, I do indeed mean him.
That's not very good.
It's quite sad, really, I thought. Yeah,
it's
but
very sad. It's a bloody straight line, Owen, this
the
track.
thing is, it blended into the background, because we were playing for like a good 3-4 hours, as we tend to do, and I swear to God, by the time we were all like signing off, you could still hear his, wheel. It's just like, come on, man, it's a minute-long lap. I mean, how many laps do you want to do around here? But anyway, yeah, I don't have the list of drivers who aren't here, but I thought that was more important. If you do have the list, do feel free to name and shame.
I will. That's going to be the exact thing I do right this second, once I've just added the last person to the list. So, missing in action tonight, we have Yuri Hazelager. For what reason, he has not told me. Michel Goris, I think he's on holiday. Nick, getting married, to be fair, at the weekend, so we'll let him off.
Why is that lap invalid? That's not meant to happen, is it? Is your no corner cutting on? I didn't think you could get an invalid lap with no rules. Would be quite a big thing to have missed out on. As we see Ben Shaw on definitely not a cancelled qualifying session.
I'll continue with the list whilst we work this out. Sullivan Lewis on holiday. Khalifa El Khalifa on holiday, I think. Corey Dalton didn't give me an excuse, but he was at Red Bull last night, so I don't know why that was the case. Conor Byers hasn't bought F1 24, but that's no excuse for us because we're on F1 23. And Jordan Lane, who is with his girlfriend this evening. In place of those 8 full-timers who are not here, myself, Bazza, Jess, Matt Shepherd.
Yeah,
Wade,
this is over.
And Scott Hayes making his debut in Cup. So you mean I've got to make this lobby again?
That is correct, yes. While we're here, we might as well see how Ben takes the lap, even though it's not really going to matter too much. As you can see, Ben is ignoring all the... Oh, okay. Well, we can still see him.
You told me it's over.
It is over, but you've killed the lobby, so that means I can't even watch Ben's lap anymore. But I think you got the idea, though. He's basically ignoring all the track limits, and it's only a 6-turn circuit, really, in effect, because no track limits.
Sorry, do you think you can keep everybody entertained whilst we sort this out?
Oddly enough, his lap counter's now gone green. I don't know. Just because you've let. I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest, anymore. But listen, the stream has proof of it going red. As we're just watching. I don't know if it's even AI doing this or what, but I suppose this does give us a chance to go through the extremely long list of rules that Jacko has for this no rules race, which is actually quite important to talk about. So first of all, there should be no track limits, which is what allows us to, bomb it around the track and take whatever lines we want. It's about 6 corners we've worked out, because you've got the hairpin. For the first, it's basically mostly hairpins, actually. There's a few weak kinks, but for the most part, it's just a set of hairpins. And it's about as close to an oval as you can get, really. And you'll see how that develops throughout the race. With that, we'll have a 100% race, because the lap is only a minute long. Minute and 4 seconds long, I think, for pole position last season. I don't think your invite worked, by the way, Jack. I'll need another one. But yeah, so it'll be a 100% race with no track limits. Reduced damage with reduced rates, so that when someone makes a cock up, they stay in the race. Because if you get knocked out in lap 1 of 53 and take half the field with you, like Evil Dragon managed to do last season, despite the lack of damage, it would be quite a shame, really. Still, the mandatory 2 stops, no jokers this week, and I definitely didn't forget about the jokers last week. Clear weather sessions, because trying to do this in the rain would be an even more nightmarish prospect than it is in the dry. Everyone must work together when we get to the competition caution, which happens on lap 46, and that'll be 2 laps of the field packing together for basically an all-out battle to the death for the last 6 laps. It's always a classic, and we always get magical moments, a bit like we saw with Jordan Lane winning the race last season, when Jake O'Sullivan binned it with about 5 laps to go. And yes, the competition caution, you'll see how that all works as we progress through the evening, but it's actually really simple, and the drivers are very good at making it work. And obviously anyone who doesn't follow that sort of thing, they'll get black flagged, and any lapped cars, they can catch up, because all the drivers on that competition caution will just be going around the regular circuit. The whole point is just keep your nose clean until lap 46, and then the fun begins right at the end. But as you will see, because it's so easy to follow and overtake, it will act quite a lot like an oval, this, and you will see an Indy 500 style sort of lead change in every lap, essentially. I cannot join this lobby. I don't really know what's going on. Let me join the lobby. Third try, let's see. On this great game that people miss.
Open it up to friends only.
Let's see. Haha. No, I'm in. Right, one more driver needed, and now we can go again, I think, as long as you've actually got all your rules set up properly this time.
Yeah. Come on, less of that.
And so basically, it's about as simple as a race you can actually get, in fairness. But it's, let's say, we can't get ovals on the F1 game. We can't do anything like that. And if there was a decent IndyCar game, we'd probably just be on that. If there's a decent NASCAR game, we'd probably be on that. iRacing iRacing will probably save us in a few years' time. But of course, in a few years' time, we'll have folded. So this is basically as good as it gets, I'm afraid.
I can't wait for that day.
Although I must say, I did say this earlier, we never did a Super Speedway race in F1 2020, and they are the fastest F1 cars ever. So that might be one to think about at some point for like a fun race that isn't on this one day, just for a bit of fun.
Was that the last good year of F1 as well? Because Hamilton was the title.
Well, I mean,
champion.
You could still win this title if it goes really wrong for Red Bull. Because Norris ain't going to win it.
I tell you what, You're the same boat as me. I don't think I dislike a driver more than I do Lando
Oh,
Norris.
he's so irritating, isn't he? Like, I used to not like Hamilton, but that's because I just wanted someone else to win. But now I recognise that he's a good driver. And now I've seen how poor Norris is at being the competition that Verstappen was to Hamilton. Christ, how could people not say that Hamilton and Verstappen aren't the best two drivers on the grid? It's unbelievable.
They
We're
always
being
were, weren't they?
spoiled. We're being spoiled with those two, and anyone else just doesn't deserve to be there. Apart from Piastri, maybe one day, but that's probably a few years out yet.
He's a likable guy, but
I like the
Norris,
bloke.
not at all.
Norris is just annoying, isn't he? He's just miserable.
Yeah,
He's a
it's at the
bit.
point I'd rather see Verstappen win a race
Yeah.
over, you know. Yeah.
It's turning the tide on a lot, you know. So yeah, there you go. That's just our weekly slander, and for once, it's actually for real F1 drivers. And there's the summer break doing us a load of service. Now we're back in the lobby. We've got our 18 drivers. Ben Shaw, as you did see, was the first out, and he should be again. Hopefully, we do wait a minute because. As we've already been through, we are missing some drivers. I would have offered to race in this, but then you wouldn't have had a stream. So,
Yeah.
although I suppose if I could have done it for my POV, but it would have been a mess. It probably just wouldn't have been worth it. So,
I could stream like an alternative view, couldn't I?
I've seen your share plays on JACKOCAR. Is that a good idea? Because that could probably cause... You know, it's going to be quite close racing out there. It could cause an airplane crash or two, which wouldn't be that... Actually, no,
To
it
be
wouldn't be.
fair,
Don't do that.
I don't have the issue on F1. It seems to be a FIFA thing.
I wouldn't
Of
take the
course.
risk. I've
I'm
got...
not going to.
I've
No,
got,
no.
you know, I've got the helicopter shots and all the rest of it. I've got the good stuff. I can direct
Very well.
I can direct a decent race, as you well know.
Oh, is that? You know what? Funny you say that. I was listening back to the season 7 Super Speedway race earlier, and I did a bloody good job leading commentary there. I'll have you know, not to big myself up, but no one else will. So go and watch back season 7. That's what I'll tell the people.
No,
No
one
comment from
thing,
Owen.
yeah.
You're a twat. I hate you, man.
No, what? I'm sure it was a great race. Anyway,
Oh, so good.
to be fair, it introduced a lot of the traditions we see now in the Super Speedway. Because back at the start in season 5, it was a bit of a disaster. If we're honest, it wasn't that good a race. But yeah, from season 7 onwards, it got a lot better. So we'll give Jacko the credit for paving the way and leading the way on a superb commentary. And what we've
There you
got
go.
tonight,
Thank you very much.
what we've got tonight, which we haven't had for the first 3 weeks of the season, liveries that you want to look at with your eyes. Thank goodness. Colour, designs, more than 3 designs. It's incredible stuff. And yes, Ben Shaw, of course, in typical style, hasn't bothered to even so much as tweak his livery. He still has the gold on there. You're not the champion anymore.
He was a champion, though.
Yeah, but not anymore. He's not the reigning champion anymore.
He's allowed to carry a bit of gold, isn't he? Are we?
No. We got it. We got it. He's been the most dynamic change delivery the second anything good or bad happens driver we've ever had, and now he's not doing it.
This, by the way, Owen, is Ben Shaw's first race since the Lost Championship 5, where he lost his title.
Exactly.
So welcome back, Ben Shaw. Non-champion. Well,
No.
one-time champion, just
Yeah.
not reigning champion. Yeah, you get it.
Oh, I suppose you can probably make the excuse that, well, the reigning champion's not here, so you might as well fill that empty post. Khalifa not here for a few weeks yet still. Luckily he got his win out of the way in Australia. Now, for a lap of this Super Speedway, you've already got the idea, really, haven't you? I don't know why we even bother explaining this every season. It's pretty obvious what's going on here. People are making their own lines up, no track limits. This is the only track on the game that has so much free space. There's 167 official layouts. We've made the 168th. And yeah, it's relatively grippy. I did a few laps on it last night just to, one, see if it's playable, the game still, and it is. It's quite good. It's nice. And yeah, just to see how the track layout is. A 1 minute 6.8 is not. it's rubbish, basically. I mean, pole position last season was in the 104s. I could really get like a 105 on time trial last night. I don't know if you get better lap times with your ERS modes or whatever. Although you only have overtake, don't you, on this game? Or actually only hot lap in qualifying. So maybe it'll give you a few extra kilometers per hour. There may be slipstreams as well, but Ben Shaw's 1 minute 6.8. That should be nowhere near really. Again though, there may only be one person who's practiced this track, and that would be quite disappointing really. But if Jake ruins it again for a third week in a row. But yeah, maybe we'll see a bit of a shaken up order as Matt Shepard in the Stake F1 colours. It is just a hideous colour scheme, isn't it? I mean, I'm so sick of it. Having seen it finish last every week in real F1, it sort of loses its appeal when it's the laughing stock of the sport. But oh well, it's not Matt's fault. As he heads through the final corner, is actually, but as he heads through the final corner, he's in the 108s. He could have just chosen different colours. Probably would have found him a bit of extra pace. But I suppose true to form, the Stake F1 team are last.
Anyway,
yes. Sorry.
I have some bad news.
Again.
Yes, there is a small issue with the lobby that was set up. The difference this time compared to last time is I had the track surface on simplistic. It's now realistic, so that means off track it's going to be very, very slippy.
As Wes has just proven, thereby absolutely destroying his car.
Yes, so he has.
Nicely done there from him, just to show us the example there in real time.
That's very good of him.
Yeah,
probably the best thing he's ever done in JACKOCAR.
To be fair, realistic track.
He did win a title, actually.
I don't think it's that bad to drive.
Ooh.
Obviously, you can see OKK's drifting a bit, but he hasn't spun it though. I think you'd seen him spinning if there was that little grip. So I think that they'll be okay. But were we really in the 104s last season? It just doesn't feel like we're going to get anywhere near it. Looking at the way they're driving so far, maybe the track conditions will have lost a lot of time. That's probably why I was nowhere near on TT as well. He says he lost a bit of front wing. Okay, he has. He's lost a bit of his front wing on the outlap, and he's hit Gareth as well. How you've managed to block him when there's enormous amounts of room to get out of the way is beyond me, Gareth. But yeah, luckily OKK's not one. Oh, he's done his whole front wing now. Luckily OKK's not really one to report people. Yeah.
Pole last season, by the way, Jake O'Sullivan 104.365 is what it was.
Yeah, I say it doesn't feel like we're going to get anywhere near that at the moment, as
the top 10 all inside a second of each other.
As we see the ING Renault machine off Gareth Hall coming through. I'm sure he intended this to be ugly, but it genuinely doesn't look that bad, all things considered, as he does a bit of weaving on the back strip. Not entirely sure what that's meant to achieve, but let him do whatever he wants to do, I suppose. He is the fastest member of Team Speed.
He doesn't he? Yeah.
I gave him a terrific commentator's curse last week. I don't know if you were watching, but if you watched after, but he literally was having a good race, a clean race, and then he was fighting with Pete. I was saying it's going quite well. He absolutely blows up turn 6 and blames it all on Pete. Then spins coming back on and ended up behind Jess. So in last. So
that is funny, to be fair.
It was quite funny.
He does go fastest though here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fastest member of Team Speed.
Yeah, I did see him lead a lap as well in China. He did, very aggressively put Casper into the pit wall.
That was box office. He ruined Casper's
for that playoff point.
Yeah, I'd say he ruined Casper's race, but Casper did that plenty enough on his own. Yes, you may have seen him cross the line first last week, but in case you weren't listening to my commentary, he did get black flagged because he was blatantly cheating, doing a one stop. He did do 3 stops, but 2 of them weren't mandatory. He thought the second stage was somewhere in lap 15 or something, when it was actually lap 19. Lap 18, but you could put on 19. Even we were confused in the commentary box, but
he was 3 laps too early.
Yeah, he was way too early, and yeah, Jamie Griffiths was doing a Joker. I got confused. Oh my goodness,
Pete Knighton, wow.
we were seeing a Joker strategy being performed by Jamie, and so I got a bit confused, and so I noticed that both of them got disqualified. But again, in case you didn't miss that, perfectly legal lap time, a perfectly legal race. It was from Jamie Griffiths. So he made the Joker work in China, which is very impressive. Casper sort of didn't, and so he's still looking for his first win this season. If we get one more repeat winner from now until round 12, then we won't have to worry about the what if 11 different drivers win a race in the regular season, because only 10 get through to the playoffs. But I'm sure that won't be a worry. Although if Casper's slipping and sliding like that very much, he might not be on pole. He's there at the moment in his Ferrari colours that he ran here last season. I think a lot of these just going to be last season's liveries, aren't they? No one's got any creative. How's Casper not got a creative livery? It's his thing.
I thought it was very Arnaud, his livery, very Belgian.
Yeah, it's very Ferrari. It's a Ferrari livery, because I watched last season's race last night, and yeah, he even had the Ferrari badge as well that he made, but he hasn't got that this time, so lazy. Jess has almost got a better Arnaud livery than Arnaud. What on earth is she running? Oh, is it Red Bull colours? Is it what is she running this for? I like it, but it's very not Jess, this. In her black, red, and well, navy blue, red, and yellow. Nice, keep it, in my opinion. Who's next? MK Bourne, possibly the bitchiest driver in the league, crosses the line, and he goes fastest! I can see why he was bitching now. He's just wanted to get back here, to get back to winning form. And it must be said, back to the beautiful purple livery that we all enjoyed last season. Now, Bazza, I said before the race, where's Bazza? He's already retired. Okay, ignore that then. I was about to start hyping him up. I was going to say he may be my choice for shock winner tonight, but not if he's not even qualifying. As we see Jamie Griffiths, he's got like a... How do you describe that? It's like a comic book livery, that really. I kind of like it. As he goes P5, I like it a lot, actually. It's quite nice. I would say keep it, but you're not going to be able to make something like that on the new game.
Jake O'Sullivan's been on to me, telling me the surface type is wrong. I've told him to deal with it. So this is what I said earlier.
Who is Hayes? Am I getting...
Scott Hayes.
Scott Hayes, sorry.
Kia Series driver. This is his Cup Series debut.
Yes, sorry. I was wondering what happened. Has he only started his lap now? Is he repay? Because he's a bit late.
He is.
But we will get to see his whole lap at least. In the pink machine. Sorry, I should have known who this was, really. I'm sure I probably have commentated on it in the Kia Series at some point in my life. But, well, I'm commentating him now in the Cup Series, so you've made it, basically. So it's fine. It's fine as well, because I'll be commenting on him next week in the Kia Series. Yes, I'm in the Kia Series next week, if you weren't sick of me already. So, yeah.
They are.
Look forward to that. I think it'll be me and Pete on commentary, which could be quite entertaining, actually. So,
have we ever had that before, you and Pete?
I don't think we actually ever have, oddly enough, which you would have thought we would have by now, but next week we definitely will have. So, if it hadn't happened before, it will happen next week. Although I'm still not sure we will be able to quite match how me and Yuri got on. That was a classic, which I don't think anyone actually watched. But, well, I'm sure Risky watched it back over and over again when he won the title in pretty comfortable circumstances in Monza. As Scott comes to the last corner, hits the wall again. DRS, he'll be in the 1 minute 10s here, for goodness sake. I can see why he's a Kia Series driver.
Tell him that.
I did.
Good man.
And
starting my lap now, Owen, if you're interested. Probably not.
Not really. I've got Leroy's lap. I've got to give him his screen time. He's on track, so gotta see him cross the line. Then it'll be all yours for the second half of your lap. You know how qualifying works these days.
Oh my! I've spun anyway. Don't come to me.
6 corners. That's all you had to get right. And you're the one who said deal with it as well.
Yeah, I am dealing with it, just poorly.
As Leroy through the final corner. Let's see how he gets on. P3, not bad. Let's we'll get to see more than half your lap now, actually, if you think about it.
So, you're so funny. Ben Harrett's very kindly given me a slipstream down here.
I've got to say, by the way, Are we still running the Tesco colours? Has that become your brand now?
Do you mean this doesn't look like a Union flag to you?
It looks very Tesco to me.
Ah.
And that's
Ooh.
very Tesco value driving as well, must be said. Oh my goodness, Ben Harrett's flying behind you. I'm sure he's loving that toe.
Hey, he's welcome to it. Go on, Ben. Be on your way, boy.
Shall we see how he gets on? Believe it or not, right, that was Jacko, the first of the Fast Five. Yeah, I tell you, you've got a good eye for comedy these days. But let's see how Ben Harrett gets on. He's actually won here before, I think, hasn't he? So
last season?
Not last season.
No, season before.
Season before, wasn't it? I keep forgetting who it was. Arnold or someone like that spun at the last corner. It was really embarrassing, but it let Ben through to win. But he's good here. And I would expect a decent lap time. But again, if everyone's being caught up by the track conditions, who knows? All I will say is that, I mean, one thing you could do, I suppose, in the difficult corner, like, a lot of people are struggling in the last corner. I would just hold 7th through there, frankly. What's the point in being low on res? If you just max out 7th, you're not going to spin ever, are you? But you probably hold on to most of your speed as well. But anyway, Ben for the final corner. He's done just fine in it. It's a 105.9. That's or 0.7, I should say. 5.7, yes. So that is that's a decent time. That could well hold pole position as we see Kieran come through. Again, he's not exactly in the ugliest livery I've ever seen, so I'm slightly disappointed. I don't think he quite understands his own sort of brand anymore. But he's slow as well, so there's absolutely no point as he was P5. Arnold and Jake, these could be very sweaty laps, and actually, well, maybe not for Arnold. He's got more important things to deal with, but he's still got it's like the chocolate eclair livery. I don't know. Do you ever you know like a chocolate eclair wrapper? Looks like that livery. That's what that looks like.
I'm going to agree with you, Owen, because I can't see a thing at the minute.
Right. Okay, that's useful.
Yeah.
Well, take my word for it. If you fancy it, I'm sure someone knows what I mean when I look at this livery and see that. But anyway, let's start talking about chocolate. Although the Belgian, I'm sure, would probably love to. As we come to the final corner, this is looking decently fast. So let's see just how fast. Maybe he has been sweating it. He's gone second. Not 0.9 off. Right. No pressure, Jake. It's your moment. A bit like it was your moment last season and it ended in the wall, so you've got sort of double payback to do here, I suppose. You've got to really make your statement, win 3 Cup Series races in a row across 2 different games, and that's never been done before. Probably. Almost certainly. So, you know, there's a few records on the line tonight. As coming through the last 2 corners, little jink through the last corner, jump over the massive bump, and go pole position for half a second. Oh no! Why did we let him sweat this?
I don't want to be that guy, but Ben Harrett has never had a pole position here, and Jake O'Sullivan has just snatched it from him.
Yeah,
It breaks everyone's hearts.
Yeah, but Ben Harrett's had a win at this track. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to be on pole.
There's a big gap on my poles list, and he is the 3rd driver in a line of 3 who doesn't have one. The other 2 are Yuri Haslager and Gareth Hall.
Why does that not surprise me?
Jake O'Sullivan, meanwhile, his 16th pole position, he ties Jamie Wright for 4th all-time.
It is a bit dominant, this, really, but again, every time we have a sort of dominant start to a season, I know he didn't win Australia, but every time we have a sort of dominant start, you always got to think back to Kyle Smith in Season 2, who had the title sewn up. And Corey, in a way, as well, last season, actually. 4 wins in the regular season, both of them, and they both just didn't get anywhere near the title. So, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But anyway, the grid. Jake, Ben Harrett, Arnold, NK Bourne, Casper, Leroy, and there's Kieran just ahead of Gareth, so maybe he's not the fastest member of Team Speed, or maybe he's just saving it for the race. and we'll talk about the rest of the grid once we're on the grid, because are you able to take the Speedway layout on the formation now? I know I ask this every season, but I assume
Yes,
you
of course
probably
you
can. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
pop you back on the track then. This
I
is
hope
where
not. If not, we got to
yeah.
restart, haven't we?
this is where you end up with the heavens having opened because you've forgotten to do the weather, or something else goes wrong.
No, wet weather is dry for the entire race.
Well, there you go then. Wet
got
weather
something
is
right.
dry.
Mm-hmm.
Get that on a t-shirt.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The weather is dry for the entire race.
I'm loving the black screen on my screen. This is... It just has all the feelings of something that's about to go terribly wrong, but somehow we've actually gotten to the pit lane.
Race strategy. Well, it's almost time, Owen.
Gareth's now telling you what I told you about 20 minutes ago. About
What's that?
About Jake's exploits in the Jacko Ball party last night.
All right.
I'm sure he'd be disappointed to know that I already have explained it in excruciating detail. But I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed.
Do you reckon, Owen, that hard tyres will go all the way to lap 46?
Why would you want to?
I don't. I've changed my mind.
I mean, you don't have to pit at the end of lap 3.
There's a lot of things I don't have to do.
Or lap 4. When's the first stage? Stage 3, isn't it? I should know that, really. Stage 3.
I've split it as 23 on mediums, another 23 on mediums, and then 7 on softs at the end.
Well,
Surely that's a winning strategy, right?
To be fair, I've never raced on this track like this before, so I don't really know how tyre wear works. But this is the first time this has been run with realistic, off-track adventures. And obviously, if it's anything like real life, then that's going to kill the tyres in about 2 laps.
This should be good fun then, shouldn't it?
Because if you go on any of the red stuff in real life, that's basically a tyre shredder on its own. So yeah. Wouldn't it be a massive shame if that happened? We end up running the end of this race on the full wets. Wet would indeed be dry. Now, again, it is worth remembering that when the lights come on, I think you used to be able to go on the third light. I don't think you can do that on F123, but you can certainly go off after the fifth lights come on, as Jake puts himself on the wall. We're going to pretend that wasn't Gareth killing him because we're being diplomatic here. So I think that was just to give a bit of limelight to the rest of the grid, because Jake is going to promptly clear off, isn't he? Look at that, Ben Harrett taking the normal track. What's wrong with him? There's a few doing that. There's a few doing that. Oh, for goodness sake, Jacko's doing it as well. In the Tesco value. Do you really not think that's a Tesco value machine?
Not from my angle.
You've tried to be a Tory and you've turned up being a Tesco shill. How's that gone so wrong?
I quite like it. Do you not like it?
I know, I like it. I would just like you to admit that it looks more like a Tesco value livery than it does an F1 car.
But it doesn't.
It does. That's
No.
Tesco value right there on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna ask the chat, but there's probably no one watches these races anymore. But well,
You're trying to say the glory days are over.
What glory days?
Best league in the world. Best hybrid league in the world, I know that.
Yeah, it's so good it's shutting down.
At Christmas, am I right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
You only mentioned it once or twice, like.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, to the shock of no one, none of the 4 viewers are interested in whether this is a Tesco value livery or not. So, guess that means I'm right, and that it is a Tesco value. No one's here to disagree with me except the person driving it, but he can't see the view. I can.
It looks really good.
Yeah. Right. 53 laps ahead of us here. This is not going to be a normal race, but you know this by now. It's the 5th time we've run the France Super Speedway layout. It's probably the longest run down to turn 1 of the whole season, really, thinking about it. And it gets underway now. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in this France Super Speedway. And straight away, Ben Harrett, he had the right idea. He's straight into the lead. And we'll see...
Go on, Ben Harrett.
We'll see a bit of chaos that we know was turn 1. It's the widest turn 1 of the season, which is good in a one sense, because you can go for any move you want. But in the other sense, you could just get turned into, which is what we saw Pete do once upon a time. It's the worst move you've ever seen, you say, Jacko. Yeah. But, yeah,
Shocking.
No one's done that today. OKK fighting away in the midfield. I did say last week I'd have the OKK flag. I don't actually have my Aston Martin shirt on, but we'll pretend I do, because we're keeping an eye on him today. We saw Jordan win here last season, so if he can win, anyone can win. Jake is back up into the lead. That didn't take very long, did it? Jake's back into the lead, and Arno's into second place. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of lead changes tonight, so it's almost not even worth announcing it, but we'll announce it for the leader of the first lap, leader of the stages as well, because that is actually quite important to the championship. Even if you have won the last 2 races, every playoff point counts as they all come around the final corner. Arnaud nearly into the wall. There's a few going wide, actually. They're pushing the limit straight away. Jake leads at the end of lap 1. Arnaud chases after him then, having a look around the outside down towards turn 1. Obviously very bumpy offline, thanks to the way all the track sort of settings are. And very wide line from Jamie Griffiths. Let's see if that works out on the exit, as it all gets a little bit argy-bargy up in front. And Arnaud gets himself back through. Oddly enough, Casper's not really on the back of this yet, so he clearly misses F124. But DRS, unlike F124, isn't actually enabled until lap 3. So it's impressive to see all the slipstreaming still going on. But yeah, imagine that sort of times 10 on the next lap. Gareth's already been in the pits, so...
Yeah, he got spun out early doors and then met me at the rear of the field. Because somebody hit me from behind where I am now, unexpectedly.
Wasn't Gareth himself, was it?
It wasn't Gareth himself, no. But he must have had some sort of damage before we made contact. Because we did make a little bit of contact.
This bump at the final corner, I don't know how you feel about it, but looking at the drivers trying to navigate it, it looks pretty horrifying.
It does feel like you get a little bit of air, I won't lie.
It looks like it too. It's but it could cause problems, let's say that much. We haven't had much of a look at Bazzi yet, by the way, today, so we'll give him his screen time for now, because he is in the Brawn GP colours, and I could have sworn Bazzi had retired, but there's a spin in front of him, and Leroy. But anyway, he's here. So
retiring is the word you're looking for.
Right. Okay. I was wondering. Yeah, I was a bit confused, but yeah. Well, he's here. He's there, and he's ahead of Leroy, as is Wes. So that's yeah, Leroy just ahead of Gareth, who's already 43 seconds behind the field. My goodness, he's had a nightmare. For him, this is just about getting to the safety car now. Or sorry, the competition caution, I should call it. As like that sounds any better. As Jamie Griffiths riding on board, that just looks horrible. That can't be doing the tyres any favours whatsoever. But well, he's making it work. They're all making it work, and Jake does win the first stage. And any pit stops from now on are mandatory. It's first mandatory. You've got to make 2 mandatories today. No jokers allowed. But that effectively only means 1 green flag stop, because the second stage is on lap 44, and then the competition caution is on lap 46. And obviously you can all pit on that moment as OKK playing bumper carts. Didn't know that he got much damage though, so lucky for him. But he is down to 11th. He was fighting for 5th. And all that bumping and barging has helped Ben Shaw and Matt Shepherd get into the fight for 5th. I think that's going to be a fight that's separated from the leaders basically all day now, because they're just too far behind. Nearly 3 seconds off the leading pack already. And very much sort of busy fighting each other rather than looking ahead. What's it like being on your own then for your race management? Do you just sort of... What do you actually... how do you sort of plan your race from here? As I say that, you've got a car in front of you now, and that's... who's that? That's Pete.
I was hoping to not be by myself, but I appear to be, which is not good. It's nice to see Pete though, so hopefully we can work with each other to get back up the order. Yeah, ideally you want to be with someone, because if you lose that draft, it's just like real life. You fall way back, and it's no good to anyone. You just hope to stay on the lead lap, and then wait for the competition caution to come out on lap 46. That really is your only hope.
I mentioned the top 4 train. It's not a top 3 train, because Jamie Griffiths has fallen off the back of it, and the top 3 are all DRSing each other, and they're swapping places every corner, so looks very much to me like Jamie Griffiths is now stuck with the I'm all on my own syndrome. So perhaps he will maybe try something different on strategy to get into it. We do see strategy sometimes help. I think last season there was 1 or 2 drivers who on new tyres were able to gain quite a lot of time actually. So even though it's mostly flat out, those braking zones, I mean, you still got to have some decent tyres for them. As we start lap 6. Now, where else is the fighting happening? It's really actually outside of sort of from MK Bourne backwards. It's all sort of nothing's happening. Bazza and OKK are with each other, and Jess and Waste are with each other. But that's all there is really outside. In fact, the lead fight is the only proper fight on track. But
me and Pete are catching the OKK Bazza fight, I would say.
Okay. Well, that might be
so
worth.
It might become a 4-car train in a second.
I look forward to it then.
So you should. Someone's got to put on a show for you. Remember a couple seasons ago it was Gareth who was a lap down putting on a show.
Indeed. He always puts on a show. He'll do that again this season, but we're going to have to wait right until the end for his, unfortunately. As riding on board with Arnold, the bouncing through the final corner is it's vicious, frankly. I'm very surprised that they're all making it through. Even if someone does put it in the wall, there's no safety cars. We did mention that earlier, but you can't have safety cars when there's no rules. Because you would just get nuked with if one came out, half the drivers will be getting 10-second penalties straight away, or just flat out disqualified because they're coming out. You know, they're halfway off into Narnia, and the safety car's telling them to stay on the track. It's just we just can't do it. That's MK Bourne, new front wing, and mediums or hards. They're hards, aren't they? So he's going to give them a go. We haven't actually put tyres on the screen yet. Would help instead of just guessing. Yeah, only man on the hards. As we see, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but the top 3 fighting for the lead once again. Oh no! They've had contact, and Jake, he's going to fall 4 or 5 seconds back. That might, he spins again! Oh, Jake, all the hours of practice, and it was literally hours of practice. And he's down to 8th place. And nowhere near the front. He's got no tyres left. It's lap 8 only. No.
Is he on softs?
He is
Owen?
on softs. He is indeed on softs. There was contact, I think, with Arnold or Ben, one of the two. But still, he just completely. The second you have that first spin, the tyres just cook, and you're in trouble.
Me and Peter caught Bazza, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. We can, well, we can ignore the front 2 really. When it was 3 in the fight, there was a fight, but now it's just nothing really. Jamie Griffiths has been overtaken by Casper, by the way, but those 2 are now in their own little train for 3rd place. I don't think they'll mind that. Just sort of do their own thing, stay up to pace, and see what happens. Ben Shaw, Matt Shepherd, and Kieran are in their own sort of fight now, and as you say, you're in the thick of the action. Your car looks like it's permanently ghosted. I don't know if you've noticed that, or if it's actually letting you ghost through cars, but...
No, can't ghost through anyone.
Yeah, your car is a ghost. Which,
feels quite good, I won't lie.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, as I have a half spin.
Yeah, I think
and
you're...
hit Bazza.
Did you? I think you're ghosted for everyone, you know.
No.
Well, the way Bazza hit you there should have been a lot of damage.
Ooh. Don't forget we are on reduced damage.
Yeah, but he got no damage. He went through you.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt it. I definitely felt it.
Well, we'll see how that situation develops, but the Tesco value machine, sort of living up to its name. It's given up after 8 laps. And fighting away with Bazza, although giving him a lot of room after he rammed you on the last lap. Now, where else are there fights going on? Yeah, do you know, all these fights are falling. I hate to be like a killjoy, but absolutely nothing is worth watching in a minute. So we'll stick with Jacko.
Are you sure that's sensible?
Yeah. I'm waiting to see if your car like unghosts itself, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It's very bizarre. I've never seen that happen before, but definitely a good thing you weren't streaming. Because God knows how much worse it would be. But OKK is into the pits, of course mandatory, but that looks like it's going to be for a front wing change. Did he smash the front wing on the way into the pits, I wonder? Because when I cut to him, he was very much, I don't know, stopped practically on the way in, so I wonder if he's just blown it into the wall on his way in. Because goodness knows where else you'd lose a whole front wing without just taking the whole car apart around here. As contact between the leaders. Come on, lads, there's no need for that. It's very rude, and my goodness, Arnold nearly took himself out of the race. Had to make a big correction there. So yeah, they are struggling for grip. There's no doubt about that. There's a big struggle going on out there, and I suppose more experienced drivers are enjoying this more, as is proven by the fact that, you know, Ben and Arnaud are not exactly strangers to the front of the pack here in France. This is sort of what they do around here. They're both very good at it. And yeah, apart from the odd little knick-knack, they're doing quite well. No major contacts, nothing like what Jake was doing. Jake, who has just had more contact with Kieran, and he's now fighting for P5. So the inherent pace is still there. I do wonder if he's had more time to work on his setup too, because I do wonder how much of a difference that'll make. I don't know what sort of setup you're running. I'm going to assume it probably consists of 0-0 wins, but
you would be correct, Owen.
But it depends, you know, the rest of the car really. Oh my goodness!
Couldn't tell you.
Jake gets bounced off the line, you know, depending on your ride height, for instance, that makes quite a big difference for your straight line speed, but also for how your car flies over bumps. So, as does everything else in the set. I'm not going to explain setups, but basically the point is that there's a lot of variables other than just running 0-0 wins, which maybe not everyone's doing. Maybe you want a little bit of front wing on there just to help you get into the corners when your tyres die out, because as long as your rear wing's on 0, you're going to have the straight line speed anyway. So I wonder if someone's running, say, 10-0 or something just to get through the corners with a little bit more consistency and front end grip. But we could ask those questions all day long. Is Jacko something exciting there?
Me and Baz are having too much fun battling each other, and you'll notice the gap to Pete has increased to 9 seconds. We should probably try and work together, as I do say in the rules.
It was a weird rule, that, really, because it was never going to work, was it? Until lap 46. The thing is, it is in everyone's interest to work together, in fairness, because you're going to lose the race if you don't.
Yeah,
now, who's that? Is that Leroy? Who's that? There's someone... Ah, it's Wes, who's blocking the leaders. Interesting. That's like blocking. There's a country mile each side of him for these guys not to crash into, but I wonder if he'll be part of this leading trio now, which is what they are, even though he is 16th his ways, but he may be able to sort of DRS his way back into some sort of contention and just stick with the leaders, figure out what his pace is like, and maybe learn a thing or two about the track that he didn't know before, because he'll have the speed for it. What it means is that both the leaders will have DRS possibly at the same time as well, which I'm sure they'll be quite pleased about. Jake is up to 4th now, and yeah, he's carrying the train of Ben, Shaw, Jamie Griffiths, and Kieran with him, so they'll be pretty pleased to be part of that, and they're all doing a decently good job. And it looks like they're all still figuring their lines out. That's another question. Have you figured your line out yet?
You know what? I was going to say this to you just now. There is a definite line appearing. So in the corner we've just come through, you want to be accelerating on the actual track rather than in the off-track sections. It seems to make a big difference.
See, I sort of find actually that you can sort of nick the inside, but I suppose there's so many different ways of going. Like for instance here, I'd be cutting right to the inside to be all over the white stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing the whole race until now. But you'll notice the run I have on Baza, and I accelerate here, it puts me side by side with them. This is why we've been losing time, because it's the whole race.
Oh my god.
That's very close. Bit of respect there. He lifted off for me. Very good.
I'll talk you a bit what I would do, Ryan, here, because like I say, I was trying to figure my line out. I want us to see how different my line would be to what yours is. Because I'm sort of obviously going right out. I'm going right out wide there and turning in just after the posts.
I'm heavy here.
You see, I'm going right out wide and then sort of flying in, sort of like 50% on the brake, hitting that same apex you did on the sort of orange part of the barrier, but I'm in third gear by that point, and then I'm already accelerating when I get to that point, and I'm going right out to the barrier on the exit, and then just cutting the next bit.
Yeah, but the grip out there is not very good.
I'm gonna guess, yeah, I'm wearing tyres, it might not work anymore, would it? It's probably maybe not advisable to be all over the inside of the white bit either, I suppose. But if you can get there, it means you can basically cruise with a lift through the next corner. Rather than slowing down. Yeah, Baz is going to be so slopey there because you can just floor it basically now, and you've got so much more speed.
I don't think he's got the right setup on, because without DRS even, I'm so much faster. Yeah, but in a straight line, that is.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's too easy.
Good fighting though, I suppose. You're nice and clean. And you've got another car in front of you now in the shape of Jamie Griffiths. Yes, that'd be, yeah. And then you sort of accelerate from there.
Here.
And yeah. So that's what
I was
doing.
Yeah,
So
just a bit tighter.
Yeah, so we're on the same lines in that front then. Thank goodness. At least I know something about the track. Saying that, I'm talking to a driver who's lost 5 seconds in the last 2 laps to the car he's actually trying to catch. So I don't know. But let's say the leaders are getting on. They're still fighting, believe it or not. Which is what you're supposed to do. Wes is probably ruining someone else's day now, I would have thought. He's trying to ruin Leroy's, I think. No, that's Leroy. He's fighting Leroy. So they're both trying to ruin... Who's that then? Casper's day. He's in third. Yeah, Wes is saying that ghosting's on in the chat, by the way. I didn't even see that before, so probably saves one or two. It probably saves one or two drivers an airplane crash. In fairness, and again, I would have thought the airplane crash would be one you have on your own. You don't actually really want the crashes at the end. You just want people to be fighting, don't you?
Here's a question for you, Owen. How is Waze doing that, typing in chat? Also racing.
I just didn't notice it in qualifying. He probably said it during qualifying. I don't even know. I only put the live chat on the front. Oh, it's crashed. Whole front wind's gone from Wes. So yeah, and he does indeed ghost. So yeah, well spotted, Wes. But unfortunately, you haven't got a front wing. So you're going to be possibly 2 laps down by the end of this one. And good luck making that up under safety car. You might actually have a challenge with that.
Because he's got to get a pit stop in there as well.
Yeah, so possibly that could be a race ender. Unless he runs with a no front wing for a while. I suppose nothing stops him doing that. You'd probably be a lot faster in a straight line actually doing that. Just whether you can live with it in the corners, which I wouldn't imagine you could, but I'm sure he might give it a go. Where's Gareth? Gareth is 11. The thing is, right, he has made his mandatory stop, I think. Or has he? He hasn't actually.
He pitted on lap 1 or 2,
yeah, but
so it'd be non-mandatory.
Yeah, he pitted again, though. He's on to his 17th lap. He's done 15 laps on the tyres. Okay, so he hasn't actually made it. Yeah, that's a shame. But he can do it later. Oh, Casper. Where's that? He's gone on the exit of turn 5. Never seen someone in that position in that corner, but Casper, get back on F124, buddy. It's over. Arnold.
He's only finished one race this season, you may remember.
Yes. And he lost. Well, technically he's finished 2 races, both of which he loses the win on the last lap. One because he was overtaken, the other because he was disqualified. Now he's not even finishing this one because he's binned it, and the other one he was on holiday, like half the rest of the grid have been at some point or other during the season. More pit stops have been happening. Ben Hart's come out in 3rd. Jake is come out in 6th. The pit stops they don't really matter. They're just sort of a formality. Oh my god! Pete, is there lag or what? I'm trying to figure out.
No lag.
It's Ben. I think it's Ben Shaw. A very nasty moment there. He's all over the show. He's lagging all over the place because he nearly sort of just drove clean into Ben Hart. I think Ben Hart even tried to get out of the way of it, but he's actually lagging about here. Is Ben? That's never a good sign. Oh, he's ghosted. I don't really know what's going on now. I feel like let's just not watch him and just hope it fixes itself sooner rather than later, because that could ruin his race.
Owen, dearest, not for my information, but where is the race leader on track?
He's currently exiting turn 1.
Oh, bloody hell. Has he pitted yet, though?
No.
Okay, so where is the net race leader?
Coming through the final corner.
Oh, okay, so I'm not too bad off then.
Well, I mean, you are quite a long way behind.
But I'm not, like, out of it, am I?
Well, as long as you don't go a lap as long as you don't go a lap down, you're not out of it. Or even, as long as you go 2 laps down, you're not out of it.
Yeah, I think we'll be alright. But if the actual race leader... Well, he was turn 1, so he must be on the back straight now. Yeah, I'm alright.
He's long past... Well, the actual leader, yes, he's on the back straight now. He's about to pass through the Mistral chicane, which now means it is indeed a Mistral straight. And the more I look at the straight, the more I realise why they put a chicane in it, because it's way too long. I don't know why anyone thought, let's just make this one uninterrupted straight. Obviously the chicane had to be there. It's ridiculously long. I would start counting how long you're flat out there for, but I couldn't be arsed. It's probably like 30 seconds though. It's stupidly too long. It makes Baku look like nothing. And even that has a chicane in the straight. Just as flat out. Point is, I don't know why we're bitching about it so much, but it's off the calendar now anyway, so what's the point? It's weird, so France has been off the grid for 2 seasons, Portugal for 3, and yet Portugal's still in the game. I do want to know why Codemasters love Portugal so much. I don't blame them, it's a great track, but like, the double standards are a bit odd. As Jack goes into the pits, ladies and gentlemen. Did you slow down for the pit line, or did you rightfully floor it through it?
Well, I slowed down because I didn't know where the entrance was.
Right.
But once I established where the entrance was, I sped up. These mediums, they've got 20% wear on, sorry, 27% wear on them. They were just feeling a little bit too loose compared to what they were earlier, so I'm going to shorten the first stint, extend the second stint, and then go for the win in the third.
Sounds like a plan.
And I'm going to come out right next to Bazza. Love it.
Who's on 4-lap old hard compound tyres, which is interesting. We're going to see a direct comparison between the 2 compounds. Looks like the hards are better because they're warmed up, but he's got... Well, he's basically run out of BRS, but again, I'm guessing ERS is basically irrelevant.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Watch him here though, he'll get DRS, but he can catch up to me, he'll then lose DRS. Or maybe he does have the advantage this time.
Not really. Well, I suppose towards the corner he did pull ahead, but
yeah,
he had to lift through there.
Earlier.
He had to lift through there. Looked very unstable. No wonder he's losing so much time. It's probably not one you really want to be fighting this, because he's just so slow. As you say, it must be a setup thing or something. Because it looks very just unstable, which is odd. Arnold is, I'm guessing here, and it is a guess, but is Arnold possibly going to try and go for most laps led? Because, I mean, he's let Ben Harrett do the undercut on him. So he will lead this race when Arnold pits, but I suppose as long as Arnold can get the tyres to lap 40 or whatever, he'll probably have banked the most laps led by that point.
I'm surprised you're not counting them for me.
I've got more important things to do. Like point out that at this stage of the race, everyone from OKK down is lapped, I believe, is it? No, hold on. Am I really looking at that correctly? That's mad. Yeah, everyone from 10th down is lapped.
No way.
So,
I don't believe that, Owen.
well, Arnold's into the pits, so that's going to undo some of the lapping, and it's also going to undo his most laps led. That's Matt Shepherd fighting away with OKK, who had a wee flirt with a wall. Survived it. Although he has already lost the front win in this race, he got that out of the way earlier on. He does tend to do it every race. Does OKK, but sometimes he does grow into a race, and hopefully this is one of those.
Owen,
yes,
for my benefit now, what is the lead lap for you?
23.
Okay, where are they then?
Coming through turn 1. They're behind you. Well, it's Kieran.
Who
hasn't pitted and is only 2 seconds ahead of Ben Harrett, who is coming through turn 1 and 2. So actually, yeah, they're coming. I didn't realise it was that close.
So I've not been lapped.
You've not been lapped, but you're about, let's do the maths, about 10 seconds off it.
Okay, it's all Baz's fault as well, because he's slowing me down.
Wace is still out there with a front win, by the way, which I think is interesting, but he is sort of doing what I thought he might and just rough it out, really, until the safety car. It's gonna get him lapped, though, again. Oh dear, Wace has just made himself look like a right knob. Getting done by Kieran like that. It's poor stuff. Through the final corner comes Ben Harrah. Let's watch him for a bit, because Arnold actually caught back up to him, so maybe Arnold will be able to fight for some more laps led, but they've got to get through Kieran first as well, and Wace, because Wace is very much fighting Kieran. This might be your chance to break away, Jacko, although Ben is just, yeah, he's left Kieran behind, but yeah, he seems very confident as the former race winner here, but he, in typical Speedway style, he'll be down to third by the end of the straight anyway, but he just looks very confident, is my point. He'll let himself get overtaken many times as part of the game, but I think when it comes to it, he does seem to have the confidence that will win him the race. Meanwhile, actually, well, let's just wait and see if Wace kills anyone here. He might be too far behind this lap to do anything, and then he'll probably fall out of it. Oh, there's contact, big contact between Ben and Kieran. They get away with it, but that was a bit close for comfort there. I was going to say elsewhere, because Pete Knighton has also stayed out. He and Kieran are the only two not to pit in this race so far. And Pete does have a broken front wing too. Of course, Pete, who binned it in qualifying, and so he's been playing catch-up ever since. It was a big accident as well. I'm surprised more haven't gone at the final corner since then, because it was 2 or 3 that had big moments there. I think it's only really been Wace that we've caught anyway, who's had a full-on accident there during the race. Casper, of course, losing it at turn 5. Didn't even get to turn 6 before he had his accident. The only retirement of this race so far. And,
do you think Casper's going for the chase this season?
I mean, judging by China, I don't think so. But, yeah. Maybe. The thing is, we say this every season now. Oh, are you going to go to that chase now? But everyone's now clocked that that's a good idea. Ever since Jake won a championship from the chase, it's sort of taken the chase's concept and blown it up, really. Because the chase is now just an easier playoffs for the drivers who don't fancy doing the playoffs.
But it's not easier, it's harder because all the big names go down there. Like your Gareth Halls and your Ben Shaws and your Ben Harretts. They've all had a go at it.
Trying to find another fight. Let's actually watch Gareth Hall, because he's fighting with NK Bourne. 2 people who... Oh, that's just Jess. Okay, sorry. Thought that was someone important. That's really rude. But she's been last all day, and she's facing backwards again. She's another one who's probably going to struggle when it comes to making up the laps that she loses. When it comes to the competition caution, because I'll tell you who all's lapped now that the leaders have pitted. Doesn't say. Brilliant. The gaps don't really make any sense, because there's definitely at least one lapped car out there. Isn't there? Or if they all actually got back on the lead lap, that'd be quite nice. I don't think they have. I'm getting confused. I actually don't know who's been lapped. I think everyone from waist down has been lapped. But that is a guess. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. Right. So okay, only 4 cars are lapped now. Anyway, I was talking about MK Bourne and Gareth because they, let's say, are 2 drivers who are probably more happy than the rest to be back on this game. So you'd hope they would take some sort of advantage out of it. MK Bourne is doing so. I think he's having a decent race. I think he'll take a P7, frankly, because he really, really doesn't like the new game. So he'll need. He's
mentioned that to you.
Well, he's mentioned it to everyone, really, hasn't he? Oh, but he loves GT7 though, so it's fine.
Does he?
Well, he doesn't not like it, which is more than can be said for everyone else who has it. Even I don't like GT7.
Oh, and is that the race leader behind me?
Well, yeah.
So I'm about to be lapped now.
Yeah. How's he done that then? He was behind Bazza a minute ago.
So fast.
Well, at least now we definitely know everyone from JACKOCAR is lapped. Thank goodness for that. Not going to be confused anymore. Now you can have a look at his leading pace. Maybe try and cut. The thing is, right, he's absolutely taken off here. 5 lap newer tyres, and look at the difference it makes. He's 5 seconds ahead of Ben Harrett. I don't. Has Ben had an accident or something? No damage or anything. So just slow.
Yeah, I'd lapped.
I'm sure Arno's given you a lot of a lot of extra room just in case.
He won't like that.
I'm sure he doesn't mind. He's lost his sparring partner, hasn't he? Looking for a new one. Pete Knighton, the second to last driver to make his first stop. I know actual Gareth has made one as well, but it wasn't mandatory. So actually, sorry, there's 2 more to make their first mandatory stops, and they are Gareth and Kieran. But Pete has come out on a lovely, fresh, spanking new set of the soft compound tyres, and he's in 11th place. But he'll probably get up to 10th when he passes Leroy. So I would say it's a strategy working decently well so far. Of course, those tyres are now going to have to get him about sort of 15, 16, 17 laps when we get to the next sort of more exciting phase of the race. Again, like I say, this is definitely the survival section, which 17 out of the 18 drivers have done very well indeed, even Jacko.
Yay.
Although his car is a ghost, so even if someone did crash into him, they wouldn't. So it would be all down to Jacko just keeping it on the road himself, and for a track that's only 6 corners long, it's easier to not crash than it is to crash.
Oh, now it is absolutely rapid. I don't know how he's doing it.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's about more than having a 0-0 win setup, as MK Bowen's been for a spin, so he'll probably be back on F122 next week to try and see if he likes that one, because that's lost him about 10 seconds. He won't be too pleased about that. And he's now got Ben Shaw, who's dropped off a little bit on this race, but in fairness, again, it doesn't really matter. If you're in the top 10, you've got a chance for the end of the race, basically. It might be a bit too much of an ask for some of the guys at the back, because you're going to have to deal with a field spread, but with the top 10, it was top 7 actually last season. That was where you wanted to be, because that's where the big train happened. The big breakaway was from 8th place down, and they could just never catch up. So, yeah, I suppose Ben Shaw passing MK Bourne for that golden 7th place. We'll see. It could be completely different this season. It just depends on the battling. Lap 30 of this race now, and Arnaud, yeah, these lap times are something else. As he actually starts at 31, that tells you how far behind MK Bourne is. He'll be catching him soon enough, and that'll be another set of cars lap. But yeah, this pace is just stupidly good. I don't know where. I also don't know where he's pulled this from because he didn't show it earlier. I know he's got 5 lap near tyres.
I've sussed out his line, and he's basically using as much of the regular track as he can for the grip, which is what we hinted at earlier for acceleration zones, but he's actually using the corners. But did you notice as well, when I was right behind him, he dragged me 5 seconds away from Baza.
Where's the power of the toe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ride on board with Arnaud for a bit, actually. Let's just see how he makes this track work. Must be said, by the way, as well, that Jake, thanks to his massive amounts of practice, is about to retake 2nd place. And he's probably going around as fast as Arnaud, which bodes well for him at the end of the race. So, we are seeing a good performance from both of them, really, despite the accident that Jake had earlier on. But yeah, Arnaud is, in that turn 1, basically taking the real track when he needs to be on the traction, as you say. And he's catching the big train of car. Oh, it's Jamie Griffiths in the wall, and a whole front wing gone. That's from 4th place in this race, and Kieran, who's on a lovely new set of soft compound tyres, well, he very much enjoys that. So that's a 2nd pit stop for Jamie. He's not going to do what Wes is doing and just outlast sort of the laps and just pit when it's time. He doesn't fancy it. But yes, I think Jake and Ben as well DRS each other. That's going to help Jake. He may even have a chance of catching up sooner than he thought. But are they about to lap you? That's 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
Wow. 7 laps in 2 laps. 7 seconds in 2 laps is what they've caught. I didn't think we'd ever see that big a difference in lap time.
I think give them all the room they want.
Well, again, you're ghosted, so I think that's going to be for everyone now. It sort of ruins your day, that. Cause well, in a sense, so you could also just barrel through people on the restart. You might actually get away with it. Not that I'd recommend trying it, just in case it. Well, no, actually, I think it would work.
Oh no, I like that idea.
No,
depends who's leading.
Yeah. Depends who's leading.
Very much.
Very much
do I
does,
overtake or do I help him out? Let's help him out.
Gareth Hall is behind you. Just thought you'd know. I thought you'd want to know. I know you probably do know, but I just thought you'd want to know. Because that is a massive amount of pride will be shown here from the fast member of Team Speed when he catches. Oh, you've lapped Jess.
Yeah, of course I have.
Not all going bad then. That's fair, actually. You're running P10. It's a good rate. It's just the pace difference.
Yeah, I'm not doing
my
bad.
mic gets disconnected. Hopefully you can still hear me. But,
I can hear you.
Okay, good. But yes, I suppose that's just the pace difference. But it actually does still have you in the top 10. All you have to do is survive 5-6 laps on the restart. So I don't know. It might not be too bad.
Once I unlap myself, I should be in the mix. Don't forget, I had a very poor opening few laps as well. But I'm definitely not race-winning material. Arnaud looks so comfortable out front.
I'd say Jake as well. Jake
Yeah.
and Ben.
And Ben's there.
Well, it's those
Ben and
three.
Jake.
It's the 3 of them, though. I mean, is it really surprising it's Arnaud, Jake, and Ben again?
No, of course, Jake and Ben have won here before. Arnaud was winning on the final lap before he spun. So they are very good, all 3 around here.
But we do see this, though. in real life at the super speedways, you'll see what looks like a pretty clear running order, and then the caution comes out and it flips the race on its head. It happened last season here. It could happen again pretty much tonight and every time we come here, because it is just, remember, we're coming here again, the third to last race of the season, round 19, to have this be the first round of the first race of the round of 6, I believe. So you know, we'll see that flipping races on its head sort of come to pass, possibly at the most crucial point of the season. Watching Kieran here on his softs, I was sort of expecting him to be a lot faster, but even he's 33 seconds behind the top 3. So that's the difference. The top 3 are 33, they're half a lap ahead of the rest of the field. And a further 19 seconds from there to Ben Shaw. So there's no wonder they'll be looking at lapping MK Bourne. They'll get up to MK Bourne, possibly Ben Shaw, but I think that's about as far as they'll get up to when it comes to lapping people, because they've only got 10 laps left of the regular race. The stage point will be on lap 44 when they're still under green, remember. So they will be going for that.
Jamie and Gareth working really well together. Nice to be a part of this battle as well. Not sure for how long.
Yeah, I do notice you say that while you're at the back of it.
Yeah.
But that's just an observation now. I've not really been watching. But I would expect those two are a lot quicker because they've got 3-lap-old mediums and 4-lap-old softs on them.
So look at Gareth's line here. He goes way out wide. Not as wide as me. I'm just being cautious.
That's the line I like taking there as well. Yeah,
it works. It does work. Jamie hits the wall.
Goodness, yeah. Gareth really had to put the brakes on there to stop ramming into the back of him. But yeah, he looks a lot naturally faster on those softs, which you would expect, of course. Oh my god. That's not the line. It's never the line. That was horrible. I'm sure he's getting close to heart attack age as well as Gareth, so that probably can't happen many more times.
Get it slowed down.
Yeah, you've slowed it down way too much. Get it slowed down as the whole field just pounces on you because of it.
Imagine this with 6 laps to go for a race win.
Well, we won't have to imagine it. We get it every season, won't we? I mean, it would take a lot for it not to happen this season, because even though Arnoud's 8.5 seconds clear at the front, that's an 8.5 seconds that's not moved for about 6 or 7 laps. And that's because the top 3 are all pretty close in pace. I mean, they had that sort of moving apart period, but when they were together, they were very much equal. As we head on to the is that 5th place being that? Ooh. That's the end of your battle there. I don't know what you did. I just cut away.
It's that bump at the final corner that got me off the air, and I very nearly did a Pete Knight and put it in the wall, but put the brakes on, took the DRS off, and just about kept myself going. And it's that quick how things can change.
So we're now lapped up to 7th place, although Pete is trying to... Yeah, he's not even going to try and come back at Arnoud. He's just going to follow him. He's on those softs. He's probably one of the only drivers who can do that. So just follow the race leader. Try and get past MK Bourne in the process, because MK Bourne is about to be lapped and he's in 6th place. And from there, it's 6 seconds to catch up to Ben Shaw, who might be the last car to get lapped in this race, but I don't think we've ever seen lapping up to 6th place here, let alone 5th. But that's what Arnoud's done, lapping up to 6th place. He'll be catching Ben Shaw now. This is, I mean, if he doesn't win the race, just remember you've got this performance, because this has been very impressive indeed. I'd say you can carry this on for the rest of the season, but we're not on this track for ages, and we're not on this game for ages, so this is actually a bit irrelevant. So if you can translate this to 24, that'd be great. But obviously the cars are completely different. Still, it was nice to have one good performance for the somehow still not a JACKOCAR champion, Mr. Arnold.
Somehow. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's a bit like the Sterling Moss, really, isn't it? Of the that old cliche of the JACKOCAR Cup Series.
You look at the list of names of people who aren't champions. You got Kyle Smith, Arnaud de Grief, Gareth Hall. How are they not credited with at least one Cup Series title to them? It is beyond me.
He must have been in, what, 5 or 6 Championship 5s as well by this point, Arnold. It's almost beyond the joke, really, the fact he's not managed to do it. But, and that's with him taking a few seasons out in the middle. So, I don't know if he's been to every single Championship 5 he could have been to, but he's certainly been to most of them.
Season 1, he was regular season champion, and then took some sort of assist off, I can't remember which one, at the start of the playoffs, and then he just fell away and never made the C5. Embarrassing, if you ask me.
I mean, he let Pete Knighton win the championship as well. That's the biggest tragedy out of all that. And, well, he's fighting Pete Knighton on the track right now. As that's very much become a trend. So I think they are catching Ben Shaw, but I do think 4.5 seconds in 4 laps. Well, in 6 laps, maybe, actually. I don't know. I'm sure Arnoud's thinking about it. And if he isn't, he's lying. He wants to lap as many drivers as he can, just for the bragging rights.
And where Owen is Arnoud on track at the minute?
Well, he's just about to come into the final corner.
Okay, that's fine. I can survive that long, I think. And because my mediums are now falling away.
Lovely.
20-lap-old mediums at that.
Lovely front wing loss there for OKK, and he's just spinning like a top. Oh, it's the usual. I don't know why I'm disappointed. It happens every week. It's fine. He'll have a second chance. He doesn't get a second chance most weeks, doesn't Arnoud or OKK? Sorry, he'll lose only 1 place in this pit stop. But again, if I was OKK, you might as well just run out the front wing for a few laps. But well, he's in the pits anyway. Nice fresh sauce. He'll probably get back past Baza and Matt Shepherd and the rest of them when he comes back out. I'm sure Arnold actually is quite enjoying having some cars to get some DRS off. So it's not the worst place to find himself.
And what's the fastest lap as well? Not that I'm turning you into a race engineer.
1 minute 7.4. Do you want to guess who set it?
Arnoud?
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, he's not that far ahead of me in terms of fastest lap. I mean, my best is a 1:08.3, but when you're consistently a second a lap faster, it does make a difference.
It does. Quite quickly as well when you're on this track. I mean, it's relentless.
Yeah.
DRS for the race leader. As he, actually, do you know what? I should really be watching Gareth and Jamie. I think he'd be disappointed if I wasn't watching this for at least a little bit. Because they've got Ben Shaw on them anyway, so I mean we can tie this into a look at that, one of the leaders is caught up. So that'll be Gareth getting lapped, which is always a sight.
The 4-time golden microphone winner as well, no less. It must be said.
It's just sad, isn't it? I've got to win that back.
Has he mentioned that
season.
to you?
He hasn't actually ever said how many he's won. We must be like equal now.
I think I was robbed 2 seasons ago, personally.
How many have I won? 4 or 5?
I can't remember.
God, it's only me and him that have won it, haven't we? Because he took over winning duties in season 6 when I started not being here.
Yeah.
And then obviously season 7, I was racing as well. So I mean, I wasn't allowed to do anything really. I just was gagged. Then season 9
8 was my peak, I would say.
Season 9, I came back a bit, but then I wasn't really allowed back fully because I would have robbed a lot of great commentators that had great jobs. So good, I can't remember who was in, but I'm sure they were good. I honestly don't remember. Quinn? Quinn must have been one of them.
I was one of them.
Well, you were the lead commentator. You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Oh, you mean like... Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you had your rotating set of guest commentators. But it's fine, I'm back now. So
that was a time when we had Kyle Smith as well.
Yeah. I've got to. I'm only back to win the golden microphone. Oh,
P9's out.
why has he done that then? Why has he done that then? More importantly, is the question. Oh, he hasn't done that with Arnold, has he? Well, he has, but was there a contact between the pair? I hope not. Actually, it looks like Arnold had gotten clear of those two by that point. Where is the corpse then of Pete Knight? And
If you go on board with me, I'll show you where he went.
He's gone where Casper went, hasn't he?
Yeah, right here on my right now.
Yeah, that's exactly where Casper went. Oh dear. We're on lap 44. We're getting close to the pit stops. If anyone's stupid enough to pit before the competition caution, which starts at the start of lap 46.
Yeah, so at 46 the drivers will... Oh, M jumps out.
For Christ's sake, lads. Get to the yellow, would you? OKK's lost another front wing. What's he doing? Oh, this lot, honestly. They're getting the crashing practice in now. That might be the motivation behind this.
Yeah, so 46 the drivers will follow the normal track layout.
We were doing so well. We did so well. Oh, as Gareth nearly torpedoes Jamie Griffith. Let's just not get this wrong, lads. Because I fancy a Gareth win here. He's fighting for that magical 7th spot that I've made. I've completely made this up. This magical 7th place, but I'm going to stick with it. Because I've said it now. Multiple times. And Arnold, is he going to catch up to Ben? He's close, but he's not going to manage it, I don't think, by the end of lap 45. So Arnold, officially, when we get to the end of this, will have lapped all the way up to 6th place, which I think is a very impressive race. But
can he do it? Can he get the job done in the final 6 laps? That's what we want to know.
He obviously also has won the stage, the 2nd stage. We should mention that. Yeah. So I forget who won the first stage. I don't really care. I think it was Jake. I think it was Jake. Yeah.
Yeah. Arnold, the all-time leader, most stage wins ever in JACKOCAR out of anybody.
Into the pits. Maybe he could have waited another lap to do that, really, Arnold. But I think he had that big of a gap. It didn't really matter because. Well, no, actually, no, because the rest can floor it, can't they, to the start-finish line?
Yeah, so, you don't have to pit in the next.
Well, the
3
top.
laps.
Well, they all have the top 3, so it doesn't really matter. They've all done what they were meant to do, and they've made their 2nd pit stops. Softs for Arnold, softs for Jake. I'd be very surprised if it isn't softs for Ben Harrett as well. It is indeed.
Everybody should be going softs, yeah.
This is where I hope no one barrels into Arnold as he crawls through the first 2 corners. When they forget. Yeah, they're forgetting. They're forgetting.
No, we're a lap down.
Yeah, I don't care. You're spoiling my shot.
So wait, what lap is Arnold on?
Lap 46, yeah.
Okay, that's correct then.
Yes. And Kieran's only just got into the pits. It's just unbelievable how far ahead this lot were. The thing is, right, by the end of lap 47, this lot aren't going to have anywhere near gotten caught up. Unless Arnold practically stops dead on the track. He's going to have to go extremely slowly to try and make this a train. This is... The field is almost spread too much.
Should be 2 by 2 at the end of it.
And just so that it's been said on stream, so that no one can say, "Oh, but I didn't know," and so that the audience can say, "Yeah, but Owen knew because he's been given a massive list of rules." The leaders have, the odd-numbered drivers have got to line up next to the outside grandstand on the main straight, and the even-numbered drivers have got to be lined up next to the pit. Effectively, just so people know that in case Arnold fancies lining up on the wrong side of the grid, like that makes a difference. So why did you write? Did you just write that rule for the fun of it, or is there actual reason you've done it?
Hold on. What rule? Sorry.
The leaders and all number drivers are going to be lined up on grandstand side.
It's just so that everybody knew where they should be.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than it being like, oh, I'm going to pick this side, you pick that side, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Everyone knows they should be on side left or right.
Because I know in NASCAR you can choose, can't you, when you do a restart, what side you're on?
Correct. You are correct there, Aaron. Well done.
I'm quite proud to know that, actually. But, yeah, Arnold is going
don't forget,
very slowly, by the way.
Cars that are unlapping themselves and catching up don't have to follow the track. All they have to do is follow the track once they're in the train.
The thing is, I was going to say, actually, I was about to say, you know, I hope this lot aren't worried about their tyre, or, you know, their tyre temps are going to be on the floor, but obviously you can just brake drag, actually, so that is a thing in this game, so actually everyone can go as slow as they want, they don't really care, assuming they remember they can brake drag. But,
KK pitted a lap too late.
He hadn't got a front wing on the car.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd lost it, another one, it's just his thing.
Leroy's gone too far. And Leroy has now stopped, so he's got to get behind me. Don't know where Jamie Griffiths is going.
Why does it say Leroy is so high in the field? How has he done that?
Because he went too fast.
Gotcha.
He just went straight past the train. Oh, and Jamie Griffiths has now spun.
Ah, Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
Of course, Jamie Griffiths has now unlocked something that we don't have in the rules. Does he recover to his position, or does he rejoin the back of the grid? I don't know.
Retaking his position, I think, isn't he?
Well, that position's in front of me, and there he goes.
I mean, considering Leroy's just blitzed through the whole field.
Yeah, but Leroy's back in position. He's correct.
Baz is also letting a lot of the field through, so I'm going to guess he's also accidentally barreled through.
He did the same thing.
Jess is last, but she is on the lead lap now. I think. Well, no, she's not yet, but she'll be about to be. But she's got to catch up a whole lap, and Arnold's already halfway through. Scott should catch up, but Jess is going to... Well, actually, no. She'll catch up in 40 seconds, actually. That's fine. It just looks like a lot. So what are you excited then, Jacko? You're sat in P9.
Yeah, I don't know what to think at the minute.
Good that the grid is already lined up.
I know that somebody is in the wrong position because I should be side by side with OK, or Leroy actually.
Maybe OKK lost time when he changed his front wing. I don't know.
Well, OKK should be behind Leroy. I do know that. But someone's out of position, and I'm not sure whom.
I'm sure they don't care. I mean, it'll all have changed by turn one anyway, won't it? I think it's more about just getting the restart done, as Jess flies around and hopefully doesn't get too surprised by the humongous train in front of her, which she will catch just in time. Thank goodness for that. We've got 15 cars, and we've got Arnold leading the pack. Remember that everyone behind Arnold will get DRS. So if I'm Arnold, I'm just being a bit cheeky here and just letting Jake squeeze through for a second. But he's not going to do that. And I'm sure if he tried to, Jake would say, yeah, no chance, I want my DRS. And so that's probably going to mean that Arnold will be pretty much nowhere on this restart. But let's see anyway. As we all come around the final corner, I'm sure we'll have some great pictures coming out of this in photo mode if Jess would ever actually join the train. Come on! Come on! You're ruining the picture! Right, well, she's ruined the picture. Away goes Arnold. We are back underway, and we've got 6 laps to decide who wins this race. And despite the humongous amount of DRS, Arnold is promptly taken off on this restart. As he head down towards turn 1, Ben Shaw sends it the most out of anyone. He's up to 2nd place. And he's fighting alongside Jake, who retakes that position, but definitely the stronger start from Ben Shaw. And now, the very Indy 500 style snaking about on the back straight there from Arnold, who's going to lose the lead to Jake. Been a while since he was at the front. He's not going to have it for long. I think Ben Shaw fancies it. Remember last season, we saw a lot of people saving ERS right up until the final lap. It's important they do that because it's going to save them a lot of straight line speed with the final lap. If you've got DRS, if you've got the toe, you don't really need to use that ERS as... Oh, is that Jake off again? It is. Hasn't crashed out, but for the second season in a row, Jake is at the back at the end of the first lap of the restart, and that's going to open up for the rest. I think that was side by side there for Jamie and for Ben Harrett. How have they got through there? I can't believe it, but they have, and we're on to lap 49. No fastest lap on that lap, I don't think. They're all on new softs. I do wonder if someone will be able to sneak one in, but I suppose they're too busy fighting each other. The fastest lap is the last thing on their minds, as down the inside once again goes Gareth and Ben. So Gareth is going back to his tried and tested line. He's in 6th place at the minute, but he's got a full ticket ERS. He knows what he's doing. A few of the guys ahead have already been burning through it, and so this will be interesting and it'll be quite varied. Jacko, you've sort of fallen off the back of the train here. What's happening where you are?
Somebody turned me before we even got going on the restart. So in the pictures, you'll see one car facing sideways, and that's me. It all concertinaed up. Not my fault, believe it or not.
Oh no! We've got 3 cars involved in an accident there. Ben Shaw, Jamie Griffiths, and Gareth. I think Gareth had to put the brakes on. He's falling out of that DRS train. Which means the front 4 is Ben Harrett, Arnaud, Kieran, and Leroy. Leroy's been up here before, I think. So again, he's not actually a massive surprise to see up here at this stage of the race. I hope for Gareth's sake he gets to catch up, because I think he was setting up a pretty decent ending now. He's also finding himself next to, well, you're both with... West still hasn't got a front wing on that car. Interesting. Didn't even notice that. I suppose he doesn't really. He is sort of proving the point there. He's going to have much better straight line speed without a front wing. It's a fact. And yeah, Gareth's not going to catch up to the leaders. They need to have an accident, really, if he wants to catch up. Which helps Project Chase out, I suppose. Although a healthy P5 will still bag him a lot of points in the regular season. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But Arnaud is back into the lead. Kieran is going around the outside. I think it'd be a travesty if Kieran wins this race, by the way. He's been absolutely nowhere all day. I know most of them have been, but Kieran winning this race is just... No one wanted that to happen. As Leroy really puts it into the wall through turn 5. I didn't think 5 would be the biggest hotspot for accidents, but it certainly looks like the more difficult corner than turn 6, which has been traditionally the hardest corner. Free to go. Arnaud holds on to the race lead. He's doing his best to control this, as he's been doing all day. Really, he's having a very, very good race. It has to be said. He's really made no mistakes so far. It's just all about timing, really, at the end. Who's in the position to take the lead? I think Arnaud, if I'm him, I'll be trying to enter the final lap in 2nd or 3rd place, just to try and get the best toe I can. Because you can see this on the back straight, you just get absolutely done if you're the leader, and so you gotta think about that positioning as we head towards the end of the race, and it's free wide for the lead as well. So it's we're getting plenty of free wides. Let's have a quick check in of what's happening with you, I suppose. Looking relatively competitive there. This is good to see, even though the leading pack is sort of broken away. The fighting is continuing. My God, Wes. How has he not been done in there? I thought that was a big crash about to happen, but no, they've survived it. And Arnaud, Arnaud's back into the lead. Interestingly, Arnaud's actually getting the pass done on the main straight. He didn't quite get it done before the start finish line, but is that maybe his plan? Let them pass me on the back straight, because I'll just get them on the main straight. It could be a bold tactic, but maybe I'll give it a go. Arnaud almost got spun off by Ben there, by the way. Bump and runs, they're allowed. They are absolutely allowed. I don't think I want to see one, but Ben, I don't think he was doing it on purpose, but he may have accidentally started to test the waters there. As we're getting towards the end, and it's become a freeway scrap because Leroy's falling off this train. So it's gonna be Arnaud versus Kieran versus Ben Harrett. Arnaud's never won this race before, nor is Kieran, and Kieran is slowing right down on the racing line, and Ben Harrett, well, it's nearly let Arnaud get away. I'm not entirely sure what Kieran was playing at there. But I'll let you say it, Jacko, if you're not too busy.
It's 1 lap to go, not sponsored by Credit One Bank because we're not legally obliged to say that. As Jacko comes over the line, P8 with 1 to go as well.
Arnaud is leading once again. He's got about half a tank of ERS left. When is he going to use it? Is he going to use it now or is he going to use it later? He's going to let Ben Harrett come through and he's going to take the DRS as a result of that. But did he go too slow? Is he going to let Kieran in? I would have thought so. And all 3 of these guys have relatively similar ERS. And Ben Harrett's using his up now. That's an interesting tactic because he still finds himself 3rd place at the end of it. But now the DRS is turned off. He does find the speed, and he pulls back up into the lead. Interesting tactics. What's going to work as they barrel through in towards turn 4? Look at the switchbacks going on in the middle there, and I think Kieran's been put in the wall. And Arnaud as well spins the same place as he did last time he was in a position to win. And once again, it's going to be Ben Harrett who takes advantage. He can cruise through the final corner. He's got no cars anywhere near him. And Ben Harrett is through to the playoffs. He wins in the Super Speedway for the 2nd time. And do you know what? It looked to me like he kept his head the most. He kept himself in the lead. And wait to hear this podium. Leroy 2nd and Gareth 3rd. Look, okay. But yeah, Ben, he held on very nicely indeed to the front guys when he used his ERS up. And then they were also trying up and overs and all sorts in turn 4, and I suppose when you're desperate to win the race, things go wrong. Ben definitely had, I think Kieran had contact with Arnaud, and that put Kieran in the wall, but I'm going to guess Arnaud was just destabilised by that as well. He spun a little bit later on. I don't think any of them hit Ben Harrett, otherwise Ben would have went as well, but I'm sure we'll look at that later on. But it looked to me like a perfectly fair and square win. And Arnaud, I think Arnaud's saying it was just the same mistake he made before. It certainly looked like it. I think he actually spotted... It must have been the same place he went in the previous race in Season 8. It must have been the exact same spot. It looked very much the same spot. And that's just deja vu on another level for him. Because once again, dominates the race. He was leading the race and then he spins. I wasn't even that surprised this time. I broke the sound barrier when it happened first time round, but this time it's just typical, isn't it? So Ben Harrett, look, okay, fine. There's a chance he may not be through to the playoffs because we've said it a million times. He could get done on points, but we will get another repeat winner. Leroy 2nd place, Gareth in 3rd. If you put money on that, you're probably quite rich, I suppose. Kieran 4th, MK Board 5th. He'll take that, I think. Wason 6th. I think he'll take that too. Baza, they'll all take that really. Jake, quite frustrated, I would have thought. Jacko, how do you feel about your P9?
I got squeezed into the wall and spun on the penultimate corner, what would have been a P6 otherwise, or P5 looking at the results here. But never mind, another top 10 in Cup Series, so we'll take it.
Yes, and then the rest, OKK Arnaud, who had the fastest lap, if that's anything for him. Scott, Jess, Jimmy, Ben Shaw, and the retirements are Pete, Matt Shepherd, and Casper. Yeah, I think Arnaud's taking responsibility for the contact, is he? Or with Jake earlier on in the race? I'm not entirely sure. There could be a lot of conversations happening. But it definitely looked to me like Ben Harrett won that fair and square. So that's the only thing we need to worry about. For once in the JACKOCAR Cup Series, the winner is the guy who crosses the line first. Wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for a certain Casper who ruined all that last week. But yeah, that's us. I think that's a lot for now. We'll be back here in December for if I'm honest, hopefully a better race than that one. I think that one everyone was a bit more conservative than I thought they were going to be. They seemed to know what they were doing. A few of them at the top 3, but the rest I suppose just hadn't practiced enough. I don't know, but some stealing of setups might have to happen for the next one, Jacko.
I think default setups is the answer then, all of a sudden. And for a playoff race, so it's all going to be about the driver.
Yeah, I could see that. Whack him on the default top speed one.
Yeah.
Let him go for
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
We will remember that as well. Because we've got a few ideas for the next one that we want to implement, but we'll worry about that once we get there. I'm going to get the calendar up because I do forget where we are every week, which is, I know it's really unprofessional on my part. Oh, it's round 5. Guess where we are. Of course it's Silverstone. I could have just guessed that, really, couldn't I? But yeah, Silverstone next week. Always a good race, unless it's a Championship 5, but it isn't. It's round 5, so it's fine. 3 different winners this season so far. Jake loses. Casper loses. Khalifa's not here. Usual suspects aren't there. Your top 3. Ben Harrett, Leroy Hasselager, and Gareth Hall. And I don't think any of them really know how they got there. So that is that's our lot. Anything you want to say to close out, Jacko?
We are the best league in the world. It's been said many a time, and we're the only league that does this and does it right. So, viva la JACKOCAR.
Right, on that note, we shall let you all enjoy your Thursday evening. Go watch the Olympics. It's good this year. Right, safe travels, and yeah, we'll see you in Silverstone.